This is about so apparently I'm gonna guess that this is related to Iran stuff. I think earlier maybe we saw something related like that we're withdrawing 5,000 troops from Germany. I don't know exactly what the reasoning is for doing this, but I'm assuming it has to do with you know, our vassals not being sufficiently loyal to the king god that is Donald Trump. So or God King, I guess is how they usually say it. So if this is kind of maybe a part of like the whole fracturing of NATO situation, which I think at this point we can pretty safely say that NATO is essentially dead, right? Whether like America is just straight up incapable of defending all of these NATO countries, and all of these NATO countries, they're not capable of defending each other. So I think at this point, really, NATO is basically dead. But this is just like another example of it, is kind of my guess. But let's go ahead and see what's going on here.
Well, we've heard from the Defence Minister, Boris Pistorius, this morning saying that Trump's announcement of the withdrawal of 5,000 troops from Germany, which currently has about 40,000 troops in the country, is not unexpected. What he's actually said was that Germany is prepared for this. He calls upon European allies to also be prepared to increase their defence commitment. Germany has already sent a questionnaire out to 18-year-olds across the country. It's obligatory for young men, where they have to say whether they're willing to serve or not. And they're building up a red or not. And they're building up whether they're willing to serve or not. And
I assume they're saying whether they would be willing to serve or not. It was hard to hear there.
Building up a register of potential recruits for an expanded Bundeswehr, the German army. Young women can answer this questionnaire if they wish. And also, men of military age cannot now leave the country for more than 3 months at a time without gaining military permission. It was a small clause in a bill passed earlier this year that was only noticed about a month ago. It caused some kickback from the Germans.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. We are America is really very quickly accelerating us towards like World War III right now. Is what it feels like. All of our like adventurism, all of the stuff that Donald Trump has, like like fracturing of previous alliances, like making it very obvious that America is a dying empire, like whereas America was, essentially fine like before Donald Trump. I mean, I'm not going to say like the cracks weren't there and ready to be exploited by anybody who came in, like, and it just happened to be Donald Trump. Like that's what I believe. But like, so like America's trajectory as a dying empire was there regardless. But it is interesting to see it collapse this fast, and move every country towards like war, right? Because all of these moves, like historically, every time Germany has rearmed, which it seems like they're starting to do right now, has preceded a world war, right? So and like America just like not being able to just like leave countries alone and like continuously getting into wars with everybody right now, along with allowing Israel to engage in like all of its atrocities, like committing genocide on every country that neighbors it, really just feels like we are accelerating our descent into World War III pretty quickly now. Yeah, I don't know, man. The people, they need to get off of the American teat if they want to have any sort of sovereignty. And I would be happy for them to do so. I'm not so happy about Germany rearming. I would rather them kind of jointly rearm and all of them be a little bit skeptical of Germany, just given their history when it comes to world wars. Like I'm a little skeptical of Germany rearming, but yeah, I think the EU as a bloc does need to build up their independence, or at the very least counterbalance America with China.
But obviously the Germans need to be prepared because if American troop numbers are reduced, the Germans somehow have to find a way to fill that gap.
Nick, the U.S., as you mentioned, has a significant military presence in Germany. So 5,000 is a lot of people to withdraw. Any idea what the impact would have on German society or the German economy?
Well, absolutely. Let's take, for example, Ramstein, which is a major US hub in southern Germany near Stuttgart. And there are 8,000 troops based there. It's a critical hub for the American forces in Europe. It's part of America's defense network. That base alone is worth 2 billion euros a year to the local economy, according to the mayor of Ramstein, and 5,000 jobs are dependent upon that base. So if you took 5,000 troops out of Ramstein, that's unlikely. It's likely to be across the board of Germany. But if you took 5,000 troops out of Ramstein, that would take about 70% of your 2 billion a year economic benefit away. It would slash the number of jobs to 1,000 or so. So it would have a major economic impact, and Germany is bracing for that.
Call it a pie in the sky idea.
Okay, well, that was interesting. NATO's in disarray right now. All of these countries, they didn't really get into exactly why. I was hoping they would talk about why Germany was like why America decided to do this. I heard in a previous video that it was like somewhat related to just Donald Trump's general distaste for NATO, and like Donald Trump like assuming that all of the NATO allies would come to his aid as he like engaged in his unilateral war of aggression against Iran after, months, like years, I guess at this point, of antagonizing and like telling them to all fuck off. Like, I guess he just thought that was going to end up with like he was just confused why they wouldn't come and help him after that, which was very silly of him. So, and I think that all of this, like to be honest, if I were Germany, I would take the removal of 5,000 troops. Sorry, I would take the removal of 5,000 troops from the region as like a good thing. Like, this is great. Like, yeah, get these American troops out of here. We don't need them. We don't want them. We'll spend on our own defense or whatever. We're tired of being America's vassal. Like that's kind of the mentality that I would have if I was a German citizen right now. Maybe I would be a little bit disappointed if I lived in one of these military towns, which are essentially just occupied territory by American military bases. But like, because there would be less money to go around. But I think that could pretty easily be solved by economic policy as well. So